Three. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Monday noon leadership training. This is Rebecca Cafiero, and I'm super excited to introduce my dear friend. We are not financially linked, but we're very much aligned. And so we are going to be, as you have been joining, just combining our training and our skills and also bringing in other leaders to share things that they're amazing at. So we are the two of us training today, and I believe next week we'll have Trisha Sedgwick, who's a 4-star. But today, I want to introduce, for those of you who don't know her, or if maybe you know her but you don't know how amazing she is, my dear friend Brittney. She is a Start 1000, which means she's a Isagenix 6-figure earner. She is a 4-star Golden Circle, Crystal Executive, and just to paint the picture of what's possible, Brittney has been in Isagenix for a while, and in the last couple of years, she's really been crushing it. And as a mama of 3, working a few hours a day, she is right at that 6-figure income mark, which, whatever time you have, it's amazing. And that's one of the things I'm so excited about this training today and Brittney's going to kick it off and talk, but it's all about qualifying. And I know a lot of times we want to get away from that like salesiness of saying prospecting or qualifying, but the reality is in everything we do, we have limited amounts of time. And it's really important in qualifying people for our time, whether it's in Isagenix, it's in friendships, it's in relationships. So today it's all about giving you guys all clarity on how to properly qualify people. So I'll turn it over to Brittney.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Rebecca's amazing, and I will re-edify her back on in a little bit as she jumps into some of the training. So actually, Rebecca came up with this idea for the training today of just qualifying questions, because as leaders, we use them so much, and I think sometimes we forget to sometimes duplicate that back out and take our new people through the process of really stepping into being a professional. Now, like Rebecca said, I'm a mom of 3. My little one's napping right now. I am a crazy busy mom. My kids are in dance and art and gymnastics and soccer and softball, and you name it, we're busy, we do it, and my husband is a fireman, so he is gone 80% of the time. So I have to be able to run my business in the pockets of my life. Now, I'm currently in a position right now with my business and with my branding online that I have more leads than time. That did not start off that way. So if you are new and you're watching this and you're like, oh, they've got all these stars after their name, like you guys don't necessarily know the story before the glory. Like I've worked really hard at this. The team that I've built in the last, that I have now, the income that I have in Isagenix now, I have built diligently for the last 4 years. Okay, so just know that it takes time to really step into a place of being a business owner. But one of the ways you're going to do that is you're going to understand that your time is valuable. And just like you would qualify your time if you were a realtor, if you were a hairdresser, if you were a dentist, or whatever your profession was, you wouldn't just wing it, right? You wouldn't just go out there and just like wing your stuff all over the place. You would set appointments and you would qualify people to see if people are actually interested in what you have to offer. So we're going to give you some tangible questions today. Now, these are questions that Rebecca and I use daily in our businesses. I am huge on qualifying questions because guess what, guys? Like my time, I have about 3 hours a day to produce in my business. And I rock those 3 hours. My calls are back to back to back to back. I don't spend time scrolling Facebook. I don't spend time on the phone gossiping. Like I am working in those hours, but I'm booking those appointments because I'm asking qualifying questions up front. So I don't want to spend 15, 20 minutes on the phone with a person if they're not interested in what I have to offer. Right? So right then and there, it's stepping you into a different place in your business of you have something of value. Isagenix is a gift, whether it's the physical gift or the financial gift. It's a gift for people. So you are looking for people that value your time and that are also looking to tap into one of those gifts or both of those gifts. So the way you're going to separate the masses from the few that you're going to direct, here's the problem. People get into network marketing and they go, I want to help everybody. Okay. That's awesome. I want to help the world too, but you're not going to help anyone if you're trying to help everyone. Does that make sense? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to qualify your time with what we're going to teach you today. Act like a professional. If you don't have a scheduling system, look at what the top leaders in this company are doing. Like Rebecca and I, we use scheduling systems. We schedule all of our appointments. We have a scheduling link that people actually have to book times with us through. So we can talk about that too on a later training, maybe systems or something. But right now we're going to pull up, oh, actually you can go back to that screen. We can go back to the qualifying screen. They can see our notes. We'll just kind of show them what we did. And
I was just showing my calendar to let everyone know.
Yes.
Like, this doesn't happen. A lot of people say like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry to jump in. You're doing all the time. And I'm like, it's only because of extreme organization and being incredibly clear on what I will and won't spend my time on. So.
Absolutely. And my calendar looks identical to hers. We have a linked calendar that we see some of each other's stuff, because we've linked some of our trainings together. So again, you guys, like, you can't wing your way to success. Success likes speed and it likes structure. So part of that structure is having those qualifying questions. So I went through in my mind when Rebecca kind of thought of this topic, I was like, okay, what are the things that I'm doing every day in terms of qualifying people? Because I don't want to get on the phone and talk to someone that's not ready or that just has no idea or isn't clear, especially if it's a business person, right? If someone's coming to me for business purposes. So I broke it down in what are some of the qualifying questions I use from social media. So if someone is interested from one of my posts, I'm going to go through that in a second. Then once I have someone on the phone, what are some of the qualifying questions I use? And then also business, right? Because you're going to have product people and you're going to have business people. And it's really important that we respect both of those situations. Like, we don't try to push the business onto somebody that just wants to get the product, and understand that through qualifying questions, you're going to find what's best suited for that person, and they're going to respect you. They're going to like you. They're going to stay on your team. Okay. Because you followed a system and you found out what they needed. So, for example, say you put up a post about free shipping or a shake or whatever it is, and somebody messages and they say, what is this that you're doing? Or I want information, or I want to know more, right? So I always get tons of questions from the team, like, what do I say? What do I say? What do I say? So I have a specific template. I save it in the notes section to my phone. So on your smartphones, you have a note section. So you can you don't have to retype things all the time, guys. You want to make it personable, but you want to make it quick so you can grab it as you start to get more and more leads. You're not going to have time to retype all these things. So when someone asks a question on social media posts, a qualifying question would be like, hey, thanks so much for reaching out on my post. What specific health goals are you looking to reach? Okay, that's I'm qualifying them for my expertise to guide them to the right path. But I say the word specific because people will say, I just want to be healthy. But what does that mean? Like, what specifically do they want to see shift in their body? And I will continue to ask them a question until I get their specific answer. I don't just take like, oh, I want to be healthy as an answer. I'll go, okay, well, great. What do you want to shift in the next 30 days? So
Brittney, can I jump in for one quick second? One thing I'll do is the same thing. If somebody is being really, not evasive, but if they're being very general, like, well, I want to lose weight or I want to do this, and I'm speaking to them over Messenger or the phone, I'll just say, let me just list a few things and tell me if any of these things are an area you'd love. Because they may not think that they need more energy and clarity, but when you mention it, no one's going to say no. And so then you can really root them into 5, 6, 7 things, not just the weight loss or the energy.
I love that. I totally love that. And I'm going to start using that too, of just getting people to think outside the box. Like, what would they want to see shift in their body and their life? So you let them answer. I always say, great, I can definitely assist you with that. People are coming to you. They want to feel confident that you can help deliver whatever it is they're asking of you. So you want to stand in that power and say, great, I can definitely assist you with that. And so the next thing I'll do is I'll say, best thing for us to do is I will add you to my private health page to check everything out. And we'll set up a short call so I can answer all your questions about getting started. Sound good? I say this 100 times a day on Facebook. Oh my gosh. I always ask them for permission to, number 1, add them into my group. Number 2, get them on the phone. So I'm asking for the appointment right there because I don't want to stay in Messenger and chat with them back and forth. I want to get them offline onto a phone call where we're going to actually be able to get them on a system. Okay. Anything you want to add there, Rebecca, what you guys do?
Nope. No, I think this is perfect.
Okay. So I always say sound good with a question mark. You want to leave question marks, especially in chat, because you want that person to come back to you. Now, if that person doesn't respond, are you going to go stalk them and message them a bunch of times? No, you're absolutely not going to do that. But you're saying, hey, I'm a professional. I set appointments. This is our system. This is how I do it, right? So you're qualifying them for your time in this process. Okay. So when they get back to you, yes, that sounds amazing. Thank you. Great. You can book a time with me here and you can put in your schedule link. Now, Rebecca uses Calendly. I use Schedule Once. I'm probably going to be switching to Calendly. I just haven't I have so many appointments booked on my Schedule Once that I'm having resistance in switching over. But I do like the setup of of her. She's going to show it to you right
and,
now.
And this one you can decide what the times are. So like I've got 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And so 15 minutes are usually those initial calls, especially like someone off of LinkedIn, which I've got a girl, Gabby, that is just starting today that I'm so excited about. But if it's somebody that you know is pretty ready to go and you're going to enroll them on that call, then I'll personally usually do a 30-minute. So that's just one. But I tell them, book a 15-minute or 30-minute. I don't want someone booking a 60-minute call when it's our first conversation.
No, absolutely. You want to keep your time. Very rarely on that first phone call will I spend more than 15 minutes with a person. You can get a lot done, and we're going to show you in some of these other questions. You can get a lot done in 15. People don't have time for that, and it's not duplicatable. So you want to have some sort of scheduling link. If you don't, and you can't financially pay for one right now, or whatever your situation is, you can ask again, a qualifying question. What are 2 days and times that work for you this week to connect? Or what works better for you, Tuesday at 1 or Thursday at 5? And you give them 2 options. Okay. Again, those are qualifying questions, you guys. You're setting the stage for being a professional for setting appointments. So super, super important. Anything you want to add there?
No, just like Brittney was saying, you've got to treat this. You've got to treat this as a business. I'll do a little echo though. And the biggest thing about setting an appointment is if you're just like, oh, just let me know when you can talk. Yes, you want to be accommodating, but at the same time, you can't let someone else control your calendar, especially because so many people are doing this in a few hours a day. And even if they're not like today, I didn't have a nanny today, so I have a certain amount of hours to work. So we have to be very specific. The other thing I would recommend is some type of, I call it like an appointment closing, is after they say the time, and I'll type this in, saying, hey, if for some reason you end up not being able to make that time, can you please give me as much notice as possible? Because I've got other people that would love to take that slot. So just please let me know. So that way you let them know, again, you're serious about it. I also personally recommend either 24 or maybe an hour before, 24 hours or an hour before, just confirming, like, still want to confirm that we're talking. So that they don't waste time.
That's absolutely actually in, and I don't know if you can do this in yours, but in my schedule link, it says I require a 24-hour cancellation because literally like my day is set, days in advance. My Monday is booked the Thursday before. So that's just like how my business is right now. But as you start to generate more business, you do want to say that to people, or you say, hey, you guys, I book my calls back to back. If something comes up, I understand that I'm a busy mom. Like I know things can come up. If you could just let me know as soon as possible so I can make your spot available for someone else, like Rebecca said, that's hugely important. We treat the world how to treat us, right? So people will respect your time when you respect your time. And if you don't have a calendar and if you're just winging it, booking appointments here and there, and you don't have a structure, people aren't going to respect that. So you want to get really, really serious, really professional about this. Those are super great. So thank you for typing those in. And again, we're going to make this document available to you guys. So we're going to just scroll down a little bit and we're going to talk about, so once people get off social media onto the phone, when we're talking about, okay, what are their health goals? What are their goals? Right off the bat on that phone call, you have a purpose for that phone call. What are you talking about? When they share with me their story or whatever it is they want to do, one of my first enrolling questions is, how committed are you to reaching? And then I insert what they just said. So say they said, I want to release 15 pounds and curb my sugar addiction or whatever it is. I will say, okay, great. How committed are you to releasing? First of all, everybody says lose weight. So I take their word and I switch it with release because subconsciously it's way better. So if you're on my team, you coach with me, I never say lose weight. I always say release. It's a very powerful subconscious word. So I will say, how committed are you to releasing that 15 pounds and letting go of your sugar addiction? And I let them answer. And then sometimes some of their fears or some of their situations of things they've tried before might come up and you can kind of address it at that point. Then I'll ask, in what amount of time do you think it's realistic for you to achieve that? This is a really important question because you're setting the stage for auto ship. You're setting the stage for IsaBody Challenge. You're setting the stage to let them know that Isagenix is not a diet. This is not a quick fix. And they're going to want to continue on this. So if they have 40, 50, 60 pounds to release and they say, well, gosh, if I lost that in the next year and a half, I would be ecstatic. You can say, awesome. So can you commit to being on isogenics for the next 6 months, and let's see how you're doing 6 months down the road, because then they just committed in their mind that they're going to be consistent. So it's a way to step them into autoship. It's a way to step them into some of our other programs. I don't know if you have any, you want to, I just keep pausing if you want to jump in, Rebecca. Okay.
I love it. Nope, keep going.
Okay.
The only other thing I would say is before I get to the budget question, I usually just ask them to give me a quick run through of what they do daily. So, because a lot of people don't know their budget. But that's just one thing that I do personally.
Totally. And a lot of times I'll say, hey, do you track your food budget? And they'll say yes or no. So going back to like the time thing, I might be like, okay, great. So if you could achieve releasing 40 pounds in the next 6 months, how would that change the quality of your life? And again, you want to get people into their conscious minds of thinking about what their life is going to look like. How will it shift? How will their energy change with their children? Talk about that with them. Get to their why before you ever talk about money or packs or anything. Get to the core reason behind why they want to do this, because they're going to be much more open to then talking about how do they get started once they establish that. Okay. So then we're down onto the budget. I'm getting a little bit of feedback too. I hope I'm not echoing for you guys.
I'll mute it. But one thing I do say is usually before that, when someone says like, what does it cost? And I'll say, that really depends upon what you choose. It depends on your lifestyle and your budget. And that's where I insert listen, my goal isn't to save you money, period. And I just pause. People are like, but because to give you the results you're not currently getting from what you're doing now. But most people find that they save either money or time or both. And most people will let you know what's more important. If they're a busy executive, time is more important than money. If they're a mom, maybe money is more important than time, but they'll let you know.
I love that. I'm totally going to use that tip. That's super awesome. So talking about based on your goals, we have systems that range from $20, $15, or $10 a day, replacing 2 meals a day and snacks, which works best for you in your current food budget. So if they've already kind of addressed that maybe they don't know their food budget or they're not really sure, then I might break it down by meals, guys. I might say, okay, well, what did you spend on your last meal? Was it more than $3? Most likely it was more than $3. So at that point, you can start to talk about the convenience that they probably will save money. But I love what Rebecca said. Like, my goal is not to save you money. My goal is to get you the results that you currently don't have. I think that's so powerful. I'm definitely going to start to use that.
And one other one you can ask in there, and you can actually do this even up earlier when you're asking someone, like, what are the other things you've done to get to this goal before? How much time and money have you spent?
Really, really big deal. Yeah. How much time and money have you spent on things that weren't working, that didn't get you to where you wanted to go? And of course, you guys, right there, you could talk about the money back guarantee and all of that stuff. I don't always talk about the money back guarantee because I just feel like people don't use it that much, and it kind of like mentally gives them an out. But if say they're being just really cautious about whatever, and you can feel some resistance to be like, hey, there's 2 choices here. You can either give this a try and you can get the results that you deserve to have, or at the end you can get your money back. But I don't usually say that I don't usually talk about the money back guarantee that much, because I don't put it out there to them that they're going to want to use it. I don't project out there that they're not going to like isogenics to then send it back to get their refund. So that's my personal feeling about it. I feel like sometimes when people use the guarantee, they're like afraid of receiving the money from the transaction. So I just kind of, if they bring it up and if it's an issue, then I might be like, it's a money back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. And I don't really spend much time on that. So yeah, just going back to the ranges, I never go over the actual pack costs. Like I don't start and say, okay, well, it's $5.89 to get started on your system. Like, I don't say that. I break it down per meal, per day, because it's more tangible for someone to be able to, and you're able to qualify their budget better. So I had a girl on the phone this morning and I said, which works better for you based on your goals? $15 or $20 a day, $15 a day, or $10 a day? And she's like, I think 15 would sound good in my budget. Awesome. Well, she just picked a premium pack, right? So then I was like, okay, let me walk you through what's in the pack that you just selected. So then it's like exciting for them because they got to choose what they were wanting to receive from the conversation, rather than me having an agenda about double pibs or whatever it is, because it really comes down to that person having that amazing experience. And we want them to come in with the bigger packs because we know that they're better, but also we want it to fit their budget so there's not buyer's remorse later and all that stuff. Okay. So
these were just some extra ones that I had gotten that I'd compiled. So you're going to see a lot of different questions here. Again, I love the way that Brittney laid it out because it's very conversational, but feel free to, look through these and again, they range from, on a scale of 1 to 10. I mean, if you want to ask that, if somebody's not at like a 9 or a 10, it may not be the right time. I mean, if someone is at a 3 or a 4 to make a health change, you do not want to spend your time on the phone with them. And again, there's some of these questions like, have you tried losing weight? Or again, have you tried getting more energy? Have you tried, getting rid of the sugar addiction? So there's just a lot of questions. These are more lifestyle based. I personally don't ask this one, are you prepared to invest this amount? Because I agree with Brittney. The daily makes a lot more sense. All right. And here's another follow-up. So I do love this one. Do you feel like you've got enough information to get started? There's others like, if we are able to find a system that fits in with your lifestyle, budget, and goals, are you prepared to get started today? Because sometimes some people are like, oh no, I'm going to start after I get my tax refund. And you're like, wait, we're talking in January. Why are we talking in January? But on the other hand, you can add them onto the calendar and you say, all right, perfect. So that's, what date do you expect that? Would it be okay for me to reach out to you on this date? And then save the notes so you don't have to start that conversation all over.
Absolutely. Those are huge. Those are really, really important. And then what we did too is we talked about qualifying questions for the business side, because obviously those are going to be a little bit different, but the same type of strategy for the opportunity versus the product. So again, on social media, so say I do a power post about working from home or a team or whatever it is, and I get a lot of feedback from that and I'm booking appointments, I'll respond with this template into social media. Hey, whatever their name is. And you want to make it personal. People want to feel connected. They're reaching out to you. So, please, if you're going to use templates, I've seen people use templates and they don't remove like the lines and they don't read them. Like, you guys have to read them and you have to plug people's names into them. Okay. So say I'm connecting with, Katie or something. So, hey, Katie, what inspired you to reach out on my post about this opportunity? I want to know what spoke to Katie about working with my team. I want to know, why does Katie want to work from home? What are her goals? What are her dreams? What are her fears? All of that stuff. So you're just kind of getting them the dialogue to talk about it. So you could say that, or you could say, oh, hey, Katie, thanks for reaching out on my post. What about owning your own business on at home or online attracts you? Because again, sometimes people think you're offering them a job. Like, network marketing is not a job. I'm not your boss. You're not going to get a paycheck. You're stepping people out of job mentality. So it's really, really important that you understand that this is them owning a business. So just using those power words of what about owning your business from home or online attracted you. And they're like, oh, I didn't know it was a business. Like, okay, well then you can have a conversation about that, because you don't want to book a phone call. Again, spend 30 minutes on the phone with someone that has no desire to be a business owner. They think you're going to hire them and send them your resume. Like, you don't want that. This is not what this is. So Rebecca's typing some notes that are really good of reverse prospecting, build rapport before talking about the opportunity.
So Brittney's covering, when someone reaches out, like you do a post and they're like, what is it that you do? Or, they're asking, they obviously are already identifying that they're interested. I just wanted to say, I know that there's a lot of people out there, and not necessarily you guys, but there's a lot of people out there right now on social media platforms, especially Instagram, that are just being super spammy. So I just want to read an example. This girl, I think I must have liked her post. And she said, thanks for the heart. I was checking your profile. It's beautiful. We're looking for like-minded entrepreneurs and business owners like yourself. How would you like to exponentially grow your income? Send me a message. Would like to connect. And I responded back, because I'm always respectful, but I responded back, hello, love. Thank you. But I prefer building a relationship with someone before doing business. And a smiley face. Because if I'm reverse prospecting, so someone's liking my stuff and I'm engaging with them, I'm not saying I'm looking for 5 good people. I'm saying, I love your feed. I noticed you're really about health and fitness. What led you to, was there something that led you to pursue a healthy lifestyle? Because most people have a story about something in their life, or I see that you work from home. What made that shift for you? Like, ask them questions about their life. Don't just spam them with an opportunity.
Oh my gosh. So important, you guys. Please, let's make a commitment, a pledge of being Isagenix leaders to not be spammy like some of these other companies. It is constant. I'm sure Rebecca gets just the same amount of messages I do. It is so, especially when you start to get yourself up into the leadership categories, like people message you all the time with these things about joining their team for their whatever beauty products and all this stuff. It's so tacky. And I feel like it minimizes what we do in network marketing, which is relationship building. So build that rapport. If you see someone doing that, don't be rude back to them. Just be like, hey girl, actually like blah, blah, blah. Exactly what Rebecca said. I love that. I love to build a relationship first before I do business with people. People will do business with people they know, like, and trust. None of those posts are reaching anyone. When they spam people and they go out there and nobody's joining their team, I guarantee it. So please don't do that. Work on what I teach my team too is like on one-on-ones on Facebook and stuff. It's attraction marketing. Be the person that you want to be in your business. Show up for yourself every day, and you will start to attract other leaders that are doing the same. Attraction marketing is where it's at. It's not, DM, PM marketing of click my link here, join my team. Like, no. So I'll give you guys an example. I did a post on Instagram and Facebook the other day, and I talked about working from home with my son. It was a picture of me with my headset on with my kid. And I talked about all the reasons why I love working from home. And at the end, I gave a call to action. I said, if you are serious, I'm looking for 2 women, because right now I really couldn't handle more than 2, you guys. I really am looking for 2 women. Actually, I got another one, so maybe just 1 now, that is really serious about building a full-time income from home. And I put my scheduling link and I said underneath it, I will not waste your time. Please don't waste mine. I have booked 25 appointments from that one post. 25. My schedule this week is booked solid with back-to-back calls. Now, these are qualified women. They have read, I said, this is not a job. I am not your boss. This is a business opportunity to link arms with me if you want to change the world. And I am getting high quality, amazing leads that I'm booking. So I'll give you guys that verbiage if you want. We'll post it in there.
Yes, please. That's amazing.
Yes. But again, I was very specific about who I was speaking to, and I'm booking phone calls with these women. And guess what? They're interested in business. They know that there's an investment up front. They're not asking me if they have to spend any money. They're like, okay, how do I get started? What is the initial investment cost? They're asking different questions because I pre-qualified them in that post. Does that make sense? Okay, awesome. Going down. So how serious? So when I get on the phone with people, and I know Rebecca does the same thing, is how serious are you about building an income from home? Again, just like the health question, how serious are you? Because you guys, let's face it, you have to be serious to do this. You can't play around in network marketing and be successful. It just doesn't happen. It's such a fallacy. So I'm really straightforward with people. I'm like, hey, this is not get rich quick. This takes time, commitment, and guts. Like, how committed are you? So I'll ask them this question. Have you ever ran a business from home? This is important because working from home is different than working for someone else. And like, I asked that question to a gal this morning on our call, and I found out she used to run a construction business for her family. So she's currently a stay-at-home mom, but she does have experience in running some other type. Now, it wasn't network marketing, but still, she was a business owner. So it's just a good lead in to find out about their life. What time commitment can you put into building a business from home? This is hugely important. So people can start to think about what time do they have. Do you require anyone else's approval before starting your own business? This is huge for spouses because you'll have a great conversation with, a wife, and then she has to make sure, or a husband, and then he has to make sure. So I usually ask that, are you married? Do you have a family? Awesome, blah, 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 blah. Do you require anyone else's approval before starting this business? Yes or no? And then you kind of know, yeah, I'd have to talk it over with my husband, blah, 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 blah. So it gives you just a lead in into your life. I ask the money question a lot. What amount of money coming into your life every week would change the quality of your life right now? When people say, I don't know, I'm like, okay, let's break it down. What bills? Oh, Rebecca's typing is so perfect. What monthly bills keeps you up at night? I love that. What monthly bills keep you up at night? How much is that? What if we were able to replace that with some residual income? What would that look like? Rebecca, do you want to jump in here? I feel like you have some really great ones in this.
I mean, I ask that often, and I ask them, what amount of money would give you some breathing room each month? Because often people don't want to say that they're struggling or that they're just getting by, but it's what amount per month would allow you that family vacation. Like, when's the last time you were able to, kind of to do the things that you deserve to do? And so I won't say like, oh, you can't afford it. It's more of, how often does money get in the way of you being able to do the things you deserve? And that's very much an NLP word, deserve, not want to do, but the deserve to do. And then they think, I do deserve that. And they do.
They so do. I love that. And what I had here in parentheses is don't let them say they don't know, get specific. So keep digging at that question, like Rebecca just showed beautifully. Like what is that monthly bill that gives you stress when it comes in the mail? You guys, everybody has those, right? Like everybody has those until they have enough money coming in. Is it their mortgage? Is it their car payment? Is it their credit card bill that they just like shove in a drawer because they literally have anxiety when they look at the paper? Like this is how people are living. So a gal I talked to yesterday, she's massive student loan debt. So if I find out they're a student, I'll usually say, do you have any student loan debt you'd like to release? Would that free up some emotional space in your life if you didn't have a cloud of student loan debt? Like student loan debt is emotionally charged for people, you guys, because here's the reality. They've gone to school, they've invested money, they've invested time, and now they're flat broke, not doing anything that they studied. And they're coming to you for an opportunity. So I find people are $100,000 to $200,000 in debt sometimes from school. It's outrageous. So I ask that question a lot. If they mention that they've gone to school or they're going to school or blah, 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 I'll say, okay, do you have any student loan debts that you would like to release? What number is that for you? You know, we'll talk about that. Awesome. So kind of moving down, have you ever done network marketing or direct sales before? If so, what did you love about it? And also, what did you dislike? Because if someone's going to join my team, I want to know what their previous experience was. Maybe they didn't have upline support. Maybe they didn't feel like there was training. Maybe there wasn't product training or whatever. I want to know if they're going to be my business partner. I want to know what their past experience has been so I can do my best to make their current experience better so that we can amplify the industry, right? We can raise up the industry and make it even better. Rebecca's typing some great ones. Did you receive training or mentorship? Do you have access to 6 or 7 figure earners in your upline? Those are great questions. See, you're asking for referrals. Who's their network? Have you ever had any? I'll wait till you're done typing. Anyone really set a vision with you? Love that. I love that. So have you ever had anyone set a vision with you? So knowing that you're going to be there to guide them, what's their vision for their life, letting them know that you're going to mentor them, lift them up. Oh, Rebecca, I'd love train on these, girl. Go for it.
Actually what I'd love to do is I actually have a brand new person on the call that we connected on LinkedIn. Gabby, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot, if you're able to talk right now. We had a conversation just a week ago. She got started and I think today's the first day. So Gabby, I'm going to stop the share for one sec. Do you remember anything specifically I asked you that really touched you?
She's muted. She's plugging in.
Oh,
I'm putting these on. So
there you go. Sorry for just putting you on the spot here, my dear.
No worries. What was the question?
So I know that you and I spoke and we obviously talked about health. Gabby is, she's got a degree in veterinary science and she's actually already a health coach working full time. But when we obviously talked about the health side, on the income side and the opportunity side, was there anything specific that you recall that really spoke to you that got you excited?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. When you said, what sort of extra income would you vision that will give you some breathing room? Or that vacation. Everyone likes a vacation. That I just envisioned, I need this. I'm young, I should travel, I should do things, and I'm just working all the time, nonstop. And yeah, so just envisioning that and you putting me there, just giving me that breathing room really, really got me there.
And it's easy to connect. And that's the biggest thing, you guys, when you're talking to someone. Thank you so much, Gabby. I know I've totally put you on the spot here. But when you are chatting with someone, that's where that rapport building is so crucial, because it's not about asking them the right questions so that you have the right answer. It's really about connecting and finding out what that person is about. And in the same way you're qualifying a product user, you're qualifying a business builder. And I know in the beginning, sometimes you want to work with everyone or anybody that says they want it, but it's really, in real estate, we called it ready, willing, and able. And sometimes there's those people that they say they're willing, but they're not. And then it's a ton of energy. But the other thing is asking those questions. I found out that, when I found out that Gabby had a science background, I was like, oh my goodness, she's going to love this, because we all know we have the best science out there. And the other side is knowing what the things are that they love in their life that maybe they don't have the time to do. And so Gabby loves teaching Zumba. and she moved to Vegas. I'm like, oh my gosh, you've got to go to LVAC. That's the place to teach. I used to live there. But she works 10-hour days. And so by the time she gets done with work, it's too late in the day. I mean, she's tired. She doesn't have time to go work, doing something that would actually fulfill her passions. And so that's the thing to talk about. And that's another thing I love about Isagenix is a lot of us do things that on the side that don't even financially make sense, but we do them because we're passionate about them. And Isagenix gives us the ability, it kind of finances those dreams. So, okay, Britt, I'll go back to sharing the screen now.
Oh my gosh, totally. That's like my whole life. Isagenix finances, all the things I want to do. I love it. No, that was so powerful. Gabby, thank you so much for sharing, and just welcome to the Isagenix community. Rebecca's amazing. And I just realized I didn't even edify you, sweetie. You're just awesome. Oh. Rebecca, for anyone that's on the call, my team that's new or listening to the recording, I know we have a lot of people that tune into the recordings. Rebecca's a 5-star Golden Circle. She's a 3-star Crystal Executive, 4-star Crystal Executive. She's got a little son who's just a couple weeks younger than my son. So she's a busy mama and a wife, and she's just amazing, amazing leader. So definitely listen to everything that she says, and she will show you the way.
Thank you, dear.
Awesome. So where were we? We were back up at...
we were talking about money goals. And again, I just had a bunch of other questions, but like, why do you want to own a business is really rooting into that, because even though their why of like why they, want to create financial freedom, that could be getting rid of student debt or spending more time with their children. It also, there's multiple things that often pull people. And for me, like, why do I want to own a business? I wanted to not have someone telling me what to do. When I was in corporate America, I had so much vacation time banked from not being able to take time off. And I turned in a request for my honeymoon and they denied it, and they made me take it 3 days shorter, even though I had all the time available, but they wanted me there on a Monday, like one Monday. So I couldn't leave on Friday. So the point is you just don't know what those things are. Somebody might already work from home. They may have that flexibility, but they might be totally glued to their phone and have no support, and their business may be running them instead of them running their business. So make sure you're asked those questions. What are you looking for in the ideal business? I know when I looked at Isagenix, actually before I looked, and someone said, oh, you can make money if you share this. And they're like, you can have your own business. I'm like, I don't want a business. I'm overloaded in my career. But if somebody would have said, what are you looking for in your ideal occupation? I would have said collaboration, mentorship, teamwork, positivity, feeling like I make an impact. People may not even have an idea of what's available for them. So sometimes you got to ask them to paint that picture so that you can then show them where they can find it here. What are you currently doing for a career? What have you done in the past? This is so important, because often I think people make a judgment based on what that person's doing right now, but that might not be what their long-term thing is. That might not have been what their passion is. And so often people have, like I said, Gabby that's on here, yes, she's a health coach now, which is awesome, but she also has a science background. So that was not me just saying, oh, you can make more money and have more flexibility health coaching. It was like, oh, I'm going to send her the studies. So it's also where you address what their concerns are or what their passions might be. Here's another one is a lot of times people, if you ask them like, what would you like to earn? They might tell you the most they've ever earned. And they may not tell you what their real dream is, because they might have an income gap in their own mind on that, or an income ceiling. So if you say, how much income are you accustomed to earning? It might be 50 or 60. And I love this. This is a Jeff question. Brittney and I have the same coach. How much a year would allow you to live the good life? Now, doesn't mean you're driving a Bentley, but it's what would it allow you to pay your bills, put money into savings, buy the food you want, eat at the restaurants you want, take the vacations you want, the good life. It doesn't mean buying $5,000 purses unless that's important to you, but it means really being able to do the things that you deserve to do and being able to treat your family the way that you want. And sometimes people don't even know what that is. Brittney went over a lot of these. Some of these are repetitive because we combined. Did you go to college? Did you earn a degree? Again, Gabby, I'm like giving away all the goods here, but when I talked to Gabby and she moved from Venezuela and she went to college in the US and she was on a competitive dance team, and she was telling me stories about herself, and I'm going, wow, okay. She was on a dance team that wasn't doing good. She was a captain. She helped take them to the finals. That means that she is a leader. That means that she's a teammate. That means that she's driven. Like, people will tell you things and you'll start to know the qualities of what is going to make a great business leader. Did they earn a degree? Where did they go to college? That's also about their network. Did you play any sports? I love working with athletes or people that played competitive sports, because I know that they're driven and they don't typically rebel against being coached. Now, we're not anyone's bosses, but I want to make sure that if I'm spending my time with someone, they don't need to do exactly what I say when I say, but I want to know that there's someone that wants leadership. I want to know there's someone that not only wants to learn, but then also understands that they are going to teach too. Brittney, anything to add here?
I love that. I think that's really important, that like you're looking for leaders in your business, potential business partners, because at the end of the day, like they're not working for you, they're working with you. So it's who can you envision yourself linking arms with is really important. And I would say get so clear in your social media marketing as you start to brand yourself and as you start to attract people to your reality that are going to join you with this. Get so specific about who, and Rebecca and I have done so many calls with this because we look for a certain type of woman that we like to work with women. It doesn't mean men don't show up on our team, but we specifically are driven to help women succeed in business. And those are the people that show up in our inbox all the time because we're very specific about who we want to help. Now, I will share with you guys, when I started network marketing, I was 25. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have any of the stuff that we have now. And I didn't know who I wanted to help. So I just was like, I want to help everyone cleanse. And so with that, came the influx of all the different things that come with that. And so, you don't want to just help everyone. You want to be very specific about leadership for yourself and leadership for your team, and your team will duplicate that. They will attract the same kind of high energy quality people that you're attracting, because it's like attracts like. So your team vibe will be based on the leadership that you have. So it's just important to start. You want to be thinking about all this. I know this is like in the first couple conversations, but again, you'll start to see like magic in people. Like, I don't know Gabby, Rebecca and I aren't financially linked. Gabby will be on my team, but I can see why Rebecca was attracted to her energy. Like, she got on a call in front of a bunch of people she doesn't know and just told her story. Like, that's amazing. She has leadership skills. So you'll start to see like almost like talent. Like, think of yourself as almost like not a talent scout, but you're looking for people that are like, you're looking for talent of who could excel in network marketing, because the reality is not everybody does. So you have to, it's like the cream rises to the top, right? So you want to look for those people that have those qualities that you embody as well.
Love it. Absolutely. The other, let me go back to screen sharing. There we go. We were talking about the sports. The other thing is, are you married? And like Brittney said, setting those expectations, finding out what role does that person play. Some people have very supportive partners or spouses or significant others that are like, you go do this. And sometimes there are going to be obstacles, and it's knowing how to address those. Kids, I love this because for the most part, and Brittney, I'm sure you agree with this, moms, one, can deal with chaos most of the time, which sometimes this industry can be, but they can also usually do multiple things at a time. That doesn't mean people that can't have kids can't, absolutely. In fact, people that are busy, people that have a job and have like extracurricular and, are out doing other things or pursuing passions, like those are the people I want to work with. I want to work with the people that can handle a lot happening. But, moms, like when I look at my ideal customer, my avatar, it's either women that maybe want to be where I'm at in 10 years. I mean, hopefully they think I'm younger than I am, but they're in their like early to mid 20s and they want the lifestyle I have, or they're moms that were where I was 3 or 4 years ago. And they're like, I'm miserable. How do I get there? But like Brittney said, maybe even next week we'll do a call like on clarity of your brand or the message you're communicating. And then startup capital is important. And again, that is going to, as we said in real estate, like that you find out who's a tire kicker. Like, how many people are out there that are like, yes, I want, all of these things, but they're not actually willing to invest their time, their money, or their energy into it. And the amazing thing here with Isogenics versus almost every other company out there, and that's why we're network marketing, not an MLM, but is we don't have a financial investment to become a business person. You just buy your products. And almost every other company out there, it's either you are buying in for a certain amount, you're paying a $500 or $600 fee, you are having to commit to, selling volume, and we don't have any of that, which is so incredible. The time is very important, I think, also. And I always, when I'm goal setting with someone, I'm like, let's look at the time you have and let's look at your goals. So if Gabby's like, hey, I can make 10 hours a week work, like 1 hour a day and maybe a couple hours on the weekends. And then she tells me she wants to be making $10,000 a month in her first 3 months. We're going to have to change one of those things. That's probably not realistic. I mean, I've seen it happen close, but that's probably a little bit aggressive. So I will usually work with someone and I'll say, listen, based upon the amount of time you have, if you have really good results because you're really focused and consistent, this is the range of what I've seen. And it might be, hey, I see people that put in 10 hours a week and they're making $1,000 a month. And I've seen people that are making a few. But if she wants to have a 6-figure income, it might be, look, we're going to need to adjust the time up. Where can we maybe cut some other time out of your calendar? So making sure you're setting those goals that are realistic, also letting them know what the potential is. But if you're always telling people it's so easy to get to, residual 6 figures, if you're not setting a correct picture, if you are setting an unrealistic expectation and it's their expectation doesn't match the reality, they're going to get disillusioned and we're doing a disservice for them. I always love to tell people this is not difficult, but it's not easy. Meaning it's actually quite simple, but you're gonna have to work at it. But you're gonna work at anything. And I love the saying, choose your hard. You choose your hard. Is your hard working? And like for me, it was commuting an hour and a half each way. It was being away from my husband. It was knowing I was going to have my child literally raised by a nanny. I have a nanny now most of the time, not today, but I see him every 30 minutes. I eat lunch with him at 4:00. She leaves, So you choose your hard and know that this will take hard work, but the payoff is incredible. Again, scale from 1 to 10 and then follow up. I like to ask, and I don't think I put it, but do you feel you've received enough information where you're comfortable in getting started? Often I think closing is a really hard thing for people. And so understanding that closing is it doesn't mean, are you ready to make a decision right or now pull out your credit card? There's what's called trial closes. And it's continuing to ask the person, how is this so far? Are you interested in what you're seeing? What questions do you have? What concerns do you have? Don't be afraid to ask those, because when we're afraid to ask, and we get to that end, we're like, okay, so well, let me know what you think later. That doesn't do anything for either person. Often someone wants to get started, they just don't know how. And not everyone will say, okay, so can you sign me up? And that's great when that happens, but it doesn't always happen. So make sure you're asking questions. And if they're not ready, if they say, no, I haven't received enough information, say, what else do you think that you need to see? Because you don't need to send them 17 videos. It might be that they just need a 10-minute call with someone on your team that they identify with. It might be that they just need to see your product page or your leadership page. It might be that they need to see your back office. Maybe they're really technical and they want to understand the logistics of it. So just ask them what they need. And I think that's probably everything I've got. Brittney, anything else?
Gosh, totally. I love that. And I love what you just said about asking for the close. So in my world, a close to me is an opening of a relationship, because I'm going to be opening I'm opening their account in Isagenix. I'm opening their spot on my team. I'm opening a relationship with them. I'm going to get to know them, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, all of it way better than I would have known when they're just a random friend on social media or someone I've never even met or someone I haven't seen in years. So don't be afraid. Like Rebecca said, people get like frozen about closing sales. Like you're closing the discussion of, do you want to do this or not? Once they say yes, you're opening a relationship, but people are waiting for you to lead them. People are waiting for you to tell them what to do. So a lot of times you'll get that empty space on a phone call when the leader on the line isn't asking for the close because the other person doesn't know how it works. They have no idea how it works. So they need you to say, are you ready to get started today? I say that all the time. Do you have enough information to get started today with us? Do you have enough information to join my team today? Are you, do you require looking at anything else? Are there any further questions I can ask? Again, you're not convincing people to do something out of their will. You're directing them into what's right for them. If they don't want to do it, they're going to say, no, I need to think about it. Awesome. No problem. You have my information. Let me know if you have any additional questions. Here to support you when you make that decision. Be done with it. Go on to the next person, because you guys, somebody else is waiting for you to get on the phone and talk to them about this. So it's not everybody's right time in Isagenix. And I think that's such a challenging thing for people when they first start getting leads, is they get a lead, and I'm going to totally go Jeffrey Combs on them for a second, Rebecca, if I can. But they get a lead and it's like their little pet, right? And they carry it around and they're like, my little lead, I had somebody comment and, now, and then they're chasing after this person. How many of you have been chased after by someone trying to sell you something that you didn't want? You weren't quite ready. You just had a specific question and then they answered it and you were like, okay, good, I'm done. I don't want it. Don't be that person. Look for the people that are genuinely interested in what you have to offer. And you're busy, so be a busy professional. Busy professionals don't have time to chase people. Rebecca doesn't chase people. I don't chase people. We don't have time, you guys. There's no time in our day to do that. So as you start to brand, you will start to attract to your reality that which you are. So start, especially for those of you that are just starting your business, start in that power, borrow someone else's belief, borrow the posture of Rebecca and myself. Say, I am working with this team of amazing women that are showing me how to build this, 6 and 7 figure income from home. Do you want to join me? Like, you don't necessarily have to have all the results to borrow someone else's belief. You are aligned with a multi-billion-dollar company that has a proven track record of success. We have world-class products, world-class science. We have created more 6 and 7 income earners than most other network marketing companies out there. And you guys, I've been in the company 10 years. Like, it's a solid company. So when people get on the phone and they're like, is this network marketing? I'm like, yes, it is. Or if they say if it's multi-level marketing, I say what Rebecca said earlier. No, this is network marketing. Do you know the difference? Because we don't get paid on levels. We get paid on volume and group activity. So don't even address if people ask you if it's a pyramid thing. Don't even engage in that. It's like, be like, what do you mean? I have no, explain that to me, what you mean. And they won't even know what to say because network marketing is soaring. Do you get people that ask you that anymore, Rebecca? People don't even ask me that question anymore because our industry is moving so quickly, and Isagenix has really set the stage of integrity for the industry, and people are looking to our company now.
Especially now with influencers on Instagram. I mean, the only difference between what we do and what people on Instagram do is they get paid to post something one time, and there's no residual. And if that person goes back to the company again, but they are also often promoting products that they don't maybe even really use or believe in. And at the end of the day, they're doing a retail purchase. They're not changing a life, and they're not helping someone else do what they're doing.
Exactly. So people understand the world is different. Sales, the economy is different. Isagenix is a virtual business that you get to build in the pockets of your life from wherever you are in the world. So we'll make this template available to you guys in our groups. And does anyone have any questions? I'd love to open it up if anyone has any specific questions before we close out the call for the day. I know we went over a lot of different stuff. So.
And one other thing I just wanted to piggyback, because Brittney was saying, we don't have time to chase people, and we don't have time to chase people, and we also don't have energy to chase people. Because if you are, it is. It's like when you go out and spend time with a friend that is exhausting to you, or you're constantly doing something that you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. It is exhausting. When you're in a state of flow, when you're in a state of collaboration, when you're working with people that are excited to be on the phone, it energizes you. So don't chase people because that sucks the energy out. Run with people because that will, it's the flow of current.
I love it. Like attracts like. Awesome, guys. Do you have any questions? Just go ahead and unmute and jump out. Oh, Lindsay, unmute. We can't hear your beautiful voice.
Oh, there you go, Lindsay. You're muted.
I don't know. Okay. I actually have a question. I just quit my job being a flight attendant because I want to work from home. And I was tired of traveling all over the place. And this is and I love Isagenix. Mackenzie got me started on it, and it has changed my life. So this has been phenomenal, this entire phone call. I just want to let you ladies know. But I just am curious how, when it comes to the networking and everything, how to get started with that. How do I build my own health page? I feel like I'm starting from scratch, and I'm trying to figure out exactly which, because I want to do the structure thing. I want to do, I want to set up for success. So
where to spend your time?
Yeah. Where do I start?
There's a couple of great trainings. So one is income producing activities. Because you only have a certain amount of time, you want to make sure that you're spending that time doing activities that are going to get a return. And if you message me or just post in Elevate Leadership, I'll post that. And then the second, I would say, income producing activities is it. And then maybe a social media one, because you don't want to start recreating the wheel. You're Mackenzie Arbel, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So she enrolled you. She's got an incredibly active team page. She's got a very fast growing team that you're benefiting off of because you're in it. So that means that you've got probably people getting enrolled below you. But I would highly recommend that you, reach out to her and ask her and then also just watch the trainings and see what other leaders are doing. Because you're going to pick up different things from different people.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Mackenzie's, I'm not financially linked to Mackenzie or Rebecca, but Mackenzie, they're both phenomenal at branding. So if I were you, if I were Mackenzie's new person, I would reach out to her and say, I would love to do a coaching call, a branding coaching call. And she can give you some Facebook and some Instagram tips, because her stuff is flawless and beautiful, really, really clean. And everybody markets and brands themselves a different way based on their personality, right? Or what they're, inspired to do in the world, or whatever it is. So getting really clear on that vision, Lindsay, I think will be so helpful. And you've got Rebecca and you've got Mackenzie, which are two top leaders in all of Isogenics, that can absolutely mentor you one-on-one. So I'm super excited for you.
Thank you.
Anyone
Great
else?
question.
I have another question. So if all those business questions that we were talking about, if a person has never seen Isogenics before, would you kind of consider them as just a product client and then talk about the business aspect? Or how do you go about for when they have no idea what Isogenics is?
I'll let you answer this first, Brittney.
Okay, great question. I think it depends on your demographic. You're young. How old are you, Gabby?
I'm 24.
Okay, you're so cute. Okay, so the START movement is such a massive thing to lead by in your demographic. 18 to 35-year-olds, they're looking, almost everybody takes a protein powder. Almost everyone is drinking unhealthy energy drinks or eating toxic bars. So our products are a perfect lead-in to the busy, fast-paced young lifestyle. You're just showing them why our products are better nutritionally, which I know you have a science background and all of that stuff. You're just going to love what our products offer. But when you lead with this, I would lead for your demographic with the START movement. And the START movement really is more business-based than product, but it's about young people creating a revolution in their life. So it kind of just depends on what are those first enrolling questions. If someone's reaching out to you and says, hey, Gabby, what is this thing that you're doing now? Or I'm seeing your posts, what are you doing? You can be like, oh, I'm so excited. It's this thing called Isogenics. Have you ever heard of it? And you just want to keep asking them questions. And if they're like, no, I haven't heard of it, what is it? You can start by saying, okay, well, I'd love to tell you more about it. What are your health and life goals? Since we help a lot of people do a lot of different things, what specifically are your health and life goals? And then you can kind of minimize how you would bring them into Isogenics, because someone that's 24 isn't going to be that impressed with our healthy aging line. It could be amazing. I don't know. I was a science geek, so I thought it was cool, but most people, your age and younger, they're going to be more about the travel, the freedom, the contribution. So even just sending them to startyourlife.com, that would be for me, that would be the hub of where most of your people would probably go to start.
And one other question that came up that a lot of times I ask people, especially when they reach out and it's vague, is I won't even say what are your health goals. I'll say, what are you looking to improve? It's kind of like when you ask someone what's going on? They're going to tell you whatever's on their mind. So what are you looking to improve? They might be reaching out for help. But they might be like, my job sucks, and then they go into the health. So you're going to really find out what are those pain points that you can address. And Gabby, we can definitely talk more about Start Your Life too. I think it's one of the magazines I sent you. I put a couple in there.
Yeah, you're a brand new girl. There's so much stuff. And also just know that in the beginning, it's okay to suck. I just want to give everybody permission. You're going to say the wrong things to people, you guys. Give yourself permission to suck a little bit as you get better at network marketing. It's something new. And just if you started any sort of profession, you might stumble over your words in the beginning until you master what you're saying. We've all been there. And anyone that says they haven't been there is lying to your face. Everybody has been there. Rebecca and I have been there. So just give yourself time. I usually tell my leaders, give this 2 years. You got to really give it 2 solid years before you make an opinion. You're going to make so much money in the process and have fun and learn so many things about yourself in life. But give yourself the ability to master your skill in the next 2 years. If you do that diligently every day, in 2 years, you will be a professional network marketer.
True. And even if you're coming from an industry that's very like I came out of a sales industry, even though I don't feel like there's still sales process. But what I will say is I thought that I understood sales, so I didn't need to do it the way that everyone else did. And of course I was sending 17 videos, and the first 9 people that reached out to me never never responded, or at least not for that first 6 months because I overwhelmed them. So be okay, even if you're really good in what you already do. Like, again, listen to the processes. And that doesn't mean you have to use someone's exact words. Obviously, you need to be yourself. So I'd say use things as a template, like these questions. If it doesn't sound like your voice, don't say it. That's going to be misaligned with who you are. It's not going to be authentic. But take the general ideas, make them your own a little bit, but do follow as much as possible, because if you notice, most of us leaders say the exact same things. We might say them slightly differently, but for the most part, we all do the same things. Some of us might do online parties, some of us might do home parties, but at the end of the day, we're connecting with as many people as possible. We're presenting Isagenix to as many people as possible. We are qualifying people. We're getting them started. We're giving them a great experience, and then we're helping them do the same if they chose to. That's really it. That's all of it. And we just are talking about the fine details of those. So.
And just on that note, this just came to me, and we didn't do a training call on 3-way calls, but for Lindsay and for Gabby and everybody on the line right now, since we have a smaller group right now, just know, like, 3-way calls are so powerful. Like, you guys are connected into some very powerful, successful leaders. Use those leaders, use us, because you're going to hear how we talk about it on a phone call. You're not expected to be an expert right away. So if you have a question you can't answer, that's a perfect time to be like, you know what? That's a great question, Gabby. I don't know. I'm going to get you on the phone with my mentor, Rebecca, and she's an expert at answering everyone's questions. And then you're going to hear how Rebecca talks to it. Same with Mackenzie. You know, Mackenzie, my gosh, she's like top start earner in the company. She did it in like 2 years. She's phenomenal. So Lindsay, you have Mackenzie she's your business partner. So you can say, hey, Mackenzie, I have this person. They have questions. Like, get them on the phone with Mackenzie. So 3-way calls is a really great way to, number one, train yourself. Number two, make the person know that they don't have to be the expert. Because I'll share with you guys, this is what I did in the beginning. And I sucked at network marketing because I learned all the ingredients in our products. Don't do that. I told everybody the ingredients in our products. Don't do that. And I would give presentations about all the ingredients in our products. Don't do that. Okay. I did that for a really long time. Like, I would get up and do an hour presentation on the ionics. Like, nobody cared about that. They wanted to know how it made them feel, because I didn't have someone mentoring me. I didn't have an upline to call. I didn't have any of those things. So you guys are plugged into systems and people. So just simplify it. You don't have to know all the answers. Just plug into the team. Rebecca has an amazing system, and I know Mackenzie does too.
Awesome. Perfect. If there's no other questions, what we'll do is we'll end this call, we'll upload the recording, and then definitely please share these, with your people, with your team, rewatch. I mean, we do this so that, everyone can benefit, because I know that, we still plug into trainings. Like, we never know it all. And that's the great thing about Isagenix and the personal development journey that it really creates for people, if you're not already on one, is the idea of constantly learning and improving yourself. Because that's one of the reasons I love training with Brittney. And today I'm like, let's do qualifying questions. Because I know you've got some questions that are different than mine that I'm like, oh, I'm using that. I'm printing that out. So you just be in a mode of always being open and willing to learn.
Awesome, ladies. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you guys for being on. And the recording will be posted in our group. So
bye.